Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from. And real quick before we get started, as always, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' constant generosity and support to me as always. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. If you guys are actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, loyalty crown badges, you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember, that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking and subscribing, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, right now we are in the middle of maintenance for the upcoming Season 1 for Yuki. And I'm really excited. We did get some fat patch notes, and I was going to cover the live stream, but I'm gonna be honest, that live stream for EN was so bad. I feel like I'd rather have just gotten like a condensed 20-minute video talking about the update rather than that. So we're going to be going over the patch notes and some content when it comes to the actual live stream that I feel like was important. But with all that yapping out the way, timestamps for wherever you want to go down below. Let me scoot on over and let's put it on screen right here. And as always, we are at the patch notes for the upcoming Season 1 update. To get started, we are getting the Galactic Disaster story. Forbidden Catalyst going to be added. It's going to be broken down in 3 acts, and it's going to happen every 3 weeks. First one is going to be after the maintenance on the 12th. Make sure you've reached level 35 for the Unwelcome Visitor from Afar story. Then for Act 2, Seals and Forbidden opens on the 3rd of December after maintenance. And to unlock this, you need to clear Act 1, Episode 9, Joint Investigation begins. Then for Act 3, Catalyst of Evolution. This actually opens on Christmas Eve after maintenance. The unlock condition, clear Act 2, Episode 7, Approaching the Forbidden. And then also to note that each story will be added to the story after the Galactic Disaster season ends, which is nice. I feel like there's no FOMO with that. And to add on to that, we also have the new chaos to explore, which is Laboratory Zero. We're going to be able to explore this, and it's also important that there's going to be exclusive cards and rewards for this. But also, after this season ends, it will be added to the normal Zero and Manifestation. So, zero FOMO with this as well. And then if you guys remember, we actually talked about this, but there's going to be 2 types of challenge modes. We have Nebula Distortion, where there's 3 bosses that you're going to be able to fight, and it's going to be broken down in schedules, as you can see right here. We have after the maintenance on the 12th, the 26th, and then also December 10th. Great Rift is similar. One thing I do want to note that I feel like they updated is that you're going to be able to use either basic save data or Forbidden Catalyst season save data. I don't know if I'm misremembering, but I feel like before they said you can only use the new seasonal content data. But because I think that some people might feel like it's annoying because they might not be having the time to do runs, at least you'll be able to use basic save data even though it's not perfect. I'm just glad they at least gave that option even if it's not great. And then there's also going to be schedules for the Great Rift. There's a first and second half. One on the 3rd of December all the way to the 23rd, and then the second half from the 24th to the 13th of January in the new year, which I found was interesting. And then the supply store, remember we're going to get this 3 different times for each act. You're going to be able to get 5 rare pulls for like, the actual rate up. And then we're going to get normal pulls as well. Once a week, you'll be able to get a free stamina thing for free, which is nice. Prism Lens, which is like the gacha for the cosmetic, which is fine. You're going to be able to get that 5 times. Using the Pure White Fragments, which is basically like the event currency. So that's nice. We also have plenty of events that we're going to be getting that they actually are showing off now. 5 and 5 of both the rate up and the standard pulls, which I think is nice because either way, the characters are going to be added to the standard. So I feel like it doesn't matter. I feel like it's good for either way. And then we also have another event, which is for 800 crystals, which is like another week banner event. Then we have Ray's Gift, which I actually think is kind of nice that we're going to be getting because the Prism modules, hey, the more the better. Even if you can't buy them, it's still nice that we're going to be able to like progress through this. But this is the one I wanted to talk about. Guardian of the Ark underway. During the event period, the Guardian of the Ark event will take place where you can earn rewards based on the number of policies implemented in Ark City. Now this is important because you'll be doing this constantly, and if you've done it, you've probably done a few of these policies already, getting affinity, upgrading your research more and more by doing this. This is important, but now you'll be incentivized to do it more to get bond items and materials. As you can see here, there's benchmarks for it, and to even get currency. This is also limited time. Even though it's going to last a while, it's still limited time, so just make sure that you're consistently doing that really quick. Then we also have special exploration rewards, which basically is when you're just going through the chaos and exploring new things. You level up that world basically, and this is incentivizing you to do that so you can get more of that currency so you can get your free pulls. So just make sure you're doing that. And then now it's on to talking about Yuki. So first things first, this virtual tactical simulation is basically like a trial where you can try her out, and it's going to be using fixed save data, so you can actually try her pretty nice. And you also get some crystals. Now it's not a lot, you only get 20, but still it's nice to have. Yuki is going to be our rate up after the maintenance. She looks fantastic. My blade is perfect as it is, but if the captain insists, I'll take it. She looks good. Good booba, boobmo, pierced tongue, looking good. The thigh line, everything's good, man. Like they cooked with this. And with her rate up, just to make sure for you guys, the 4-star rate ups are going to be Nia, which is a very important character because they are going to consistently use her when it comes to teammates. So for all the team comps, Nia seems like she's going to be really stuck with Yuki, which I don't mind, but I need to get Nia because I haven't got her yet. So similar to how I was with Haru, I didn't have Beryl yet, so hoping while we're pulling for her, we actually get Nia. And then Lucas is also going to be on there as well, which is an actual team synergy. They've showed off a few of the team synergies that you can use for Yuki. There's plenty of them, but I think that my favorite, the one that I'm definitely going to go for, is going to be Nia, and I think maybe Beryl with Yuki, just because I love Beryl a lot. She's fun to use. But with all that yapping out the way, I do want to talk about her a little bit, because she has her cards and then her unique cards, and I want to talk about that for a little bit. Because first things first though, when we're talking about her cards, she has basic cards and she has unique cards. So for her basic cards, we have Longsword Slash, which is 1 AP and you get 100 damage. Rapid Cut, which is 2 cost card, 220% damage. Then we have Flowing Parry, which is 100% shield, which to me, honestly, is just kind of like whatever, because these are basically the standard cards. Like most of the time, I'm probably going to be removing Flowing Parry. But now it's time to talk about the unique cards. And we have a 0 cost card, Prepare to Subdue, draw 1 of this unit's attack cards, and then plus 20% damage to that card for 1 turn. Then we have Flash Slash, which is a 2 cost card, 180% damage to all enemies, and then if you have Inspiration, reduce the cost by 1. This is really important why you want Nia as well, because she'll be helping to trigger this as well. And then Trickery Strike, retain. So you're going to be able to keep this card in your deck. You deal 150% of the damage activation inspired to 1 random card in hand. So that's going to be very useful if you're trying to trigger something. And then we have Freezing Blade, which is an upgrade card, which is a unique. When using your own card with an activated inspiration effect, 60% damage to all enemies. So you're going to really want to try to combo this. And then lastly, we have Iceberg Cleave. It's an attack card, 180% damage to all enemies, and with inspiration, plus 1 extra hit, minus 20% damage though. So you get an extra hit, but you lose a little bit of damage. It's a little bit of a shame, but hey, still nice. And then we have our ego skill, Skyscraper Cleave, 300% damage to all enemies. You move all attack cards in hand to the top of the draw pile, and plus 50% damage per card move. That's can be pretty nice if you have your deck set up correctly in that draw move. That looks pretty nice. Now, there are a lot of epiphanies though, so I'm going to be breaking this down. So when we're talking about our epiphanies, we're just going to start from Prepare to Subdue. Now, this isn't counting for any divine ones or anything because that's so hard to account for. We're just looking at base normal epiphanies. So with Prepare to Subdue, there are 5 kinds. We have Retain. You draw 1 attack card of this unit, increase the damage amount of that card by 40% for 1 turn. So this card gets retained and increases the damage. Not bad. Then we have draw 1 attack card of this unit plus 20% of the damage amount to attack cards of this unit for 1 turn. So they specify it correctly, but they did lower the damage a little bit. So just do keep that in mind. Then we have Prepare to Subdue, where you draw 2 attack cards, but in exchange, you lose 20% damage amount to that card for 1 turn. Really don't know how to feel about that because it's like, yeah, you do gain 1, but you also lose damage. Don't really know how to feel about that one. But then we have draw 1 attack cards of this unit plus 20% damage amount to those cards for 1 turn. And then Inspiration, draw 1 attack card of this unit. That one looks really nice. That card looks really nice, especially for Yuki. 4 is looking good. Prepare to Subdue. You draw 1 attack card of this unit, and then at the start of the next turn, you draw 1 attack card of this unit again. But there is no buff or anything, so you can keep this going. So depending on your play, honestly, like, The retain one sounds nice just because you just get an increase and you keep that retain card. That one's not bad. I don't really care about 2 or 3 that much, but 4 and 5 also look nice. I think 4 is probably going to be the one that I want to go for, unless there's some crazy like shenanigans you could do with like divine epiphanies. So that's like a whole different story. But then we also have Flash Slash, where now it's 335% of damage to all enemies, inspiration cost -1. Then we have Flash Slash again, where it's 227% damage to all enemies, which is base, and then inspiration cost -2 instead. And then Flash Slash, again, base damage 227% to all enemies, but an inspiration +1 hit. But then we get Retain, which is 395% damage, plus 60% of damage amount for each drawn card of this unit for 1 turn. So depending on how you're rotating, this one could be really powerful. I don't really think the Flash Slash might be doing that great because the boost is 371% of damage to all enemies when used cost -1. Well, that actually might be alright, actually. That's not bad with that use cost of -1. Don't know how to feel about the first one though. Honestly, I kind of like 4 just because you get a lot more out of it, but the inspiration could probably help you a lot, especially if you have number 2. So depending on how your style is, this could really work out. I'm kind of interested in 4, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how to feel about 5 though. But then we have Trickery Strike. Now this card does have Retain, 216% damage, so it did go up. Choose 1 card of this unit in hand and activate the inspiration effect. Just straight up. That's actually kind of nice. It's a bit more specific than the original, but I actually like that card. Then we have Trickery Strike, which is also Retain and Retrieve. 216% damage, activate inspiration for 1 random card of this unit in hand. Then we have activate inspiration for all cards of this unit in hand. That one, like, you don't get damage, but if you're trying to take advantage of Yuki's inspiration, like that chain that you can do, that sounds nice. And draw 180% damage, draw 1 cards that have inspiration effect. That one's not bad either. And then 312% damage, inspiration cost of -1. I don't know. This one actually has some pretty nice choices. But then we have Freezing Blade. Freezing Blade. Unique. When using a card of this unit with an activate inspiration, 90% damage to all enemies. So increased boost on that. Then we get Unique with the initiation. So when using a card of this unit with an activate inspiration, plus 60% damage to all enemies. And then for the unique for this one, it's when using a card of this unit with an activated inspiration, 130% damage to a random enemy. That one sounds like alright, depending on the randomness though. Like depending on who you're fighting, if it's like a group or not, this can be fine. And then we have Freezing Blade, plus 30% damage amount to attack cards of this unit that targets all enemies. I actually don't think that one's that bad, especially if you're trying to just keep up with her, like the idea of like AoE. But I kind of like that middle one. But we're not done yet because we have the last one. At the start of the turn, activate inspiration for 1 random card of this unit in hand. So depending on the style that you're going for, I feel like these can all work out. Like, there's some weaker ones for sure. Like, I feel like the first 2 are kind of like whatever. But the initiation effect is there, so that one's valid. But I feel like the last 3 are just all solid choices. I'm curious how it's going to go when we see the Divine Epiphanies. I think that one's going to be a lot of fun. But after all this yapping, I do want to talk about her rate-up partner, West Makat. I like her character just because it's unique, just because she is a wheel-bound character. Fucking Hot Wheels over here, looking great. And she is definitely going to be meant for Yuki, just because the idea that attack cards of the assigned command drawn by their ability have their damage increased by 25 to 50% for 1 turn, and then damage amount of cards within the assigned command's inspiration increases by 10 to 20%. So this really is pretty useful for Yuki. And with Haru, with Asteria's partner, it really felt like she was really only meant for Haru right now. I feel like there's kind of awkward positions that you could put Asteria in if it's not Haru. I feel like the similar thing might happen with Mestakat over here, but that's fine. They're also improving the log rewards, so you're going to be able to get more rewards from level 4 to 60, and they're going to be sent in the mailbox, so you might see a lot of more materials, which is great because I'm like level 50 now, so that's fantastic. Then we have a new season of Basin of Hyperspace. Make sure you get your rewards because they updated it with a lot more materials this time, which is nice. They added some stuff to the shop that you can get if you want to use your currency. I personally wouldn't do it for bond items or anything like that. But Ritochka is also added once per account, Zeronium times 300. I feel like I would just save my Zeronium for now. I feel like we don't know the landscape fully yet before we start spending it. But that's just me. And then for the battle pass, they're adding more little missions that you can do, which are based on the season right now. And this one's really important. Okay, saw a few people talk about this, and this one's kind of important. Save data information improvements. An in-game help section explaining the save data storage rules has been added. A guide on save data value has been added to the Chaos Infiltration Team Formation UI. The details of obtained save data now display the value of faded memory as points. This follows the notation of the save rules introduced in the help section and allows you to check the total value of faded memories stored within the save data. They just added some new products to the shop, some that you can actually use crystals if you want. Don't know if a lot of people are going to be doing that unless you're like a whale. Now, there are so many improvements. First thing I want to talk about is that for basic save data, I guess you can no longer be favorited, locked, or dismantled in bulk. When combatant affinity rewards are available, the red dot will not only appear on the affinity bonus icon and the command detailed information stats tab. We have 3 new fates now. We have Diligence, which is you gain 1 AP and draw 1 upon defeating a monster once per turn. We have Enlightenment, which is draw 1 card each time an ego's skill is used, which is kind of meh, because honestly, egos are kind of like the last priority. Then we have Focus, gain 1 AP at the start of your turn if HP is below 50%. And they also changed a lot of stuff for Rin. But some of the funny stuff that I wanted to talk about in this that I thought was kind of interesting that they chose to like bring up is that when you like scroll all the way down, you're just like reading all of this, but then for some reason you just see like one talking about like the cat is no longer there. I'm not even kidding. They have a thing right here saying the appearance rate of the cat in the garden cafe has been lowered. God bless these patch notes. But this one's really important though. Like, jokes aside, the difficulty of battles featuring Gloomy Prime and Gloomy Beast has been reduced. God bless, because I hated that fight so much. And one for me that I found was important was cards with the finales will now be used last during auto battle. This was so annoying because of the AI, because you would be using your cards and you would have a finale card in hand. It would still activate even if it wasn't the last card in hand, so it would waste your turn. It was so frustrating. And then they did a lot of bug fixes, so I'm sorry, but like, we'd be here all day, you know what I mean? We'd be here all day for that. So really solid looking patch notes. But something that I did want to mention really quick before we end it off is that they kind of changed how save data actually work, because in the live stream it says instead of like low, medium, or high value, now it says 5 tier, and then later on there was a 6 tier and an 8 tier. So I think they broke it down into numerical value tiers. Don't know if that's going to be more easier to understand or harder. We're going to just find out when we see it. But there was a lot to talk about. Do let me know what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts on Yuki? Are you excited? Are you going to be pulling? What's your idea on the save data changes? Is that good for you? Is that bad for you? Honestly, for me, it seems like they're trying to fix it more because it is frustrating. So this is a good step in the right direction. We're just going to see after how it plays out in game. But that is going to be it for me. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, lovely night wherever you're from. And as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Take care and have a good one.